There has been a dynamic change in how Gala is running their company. With priorities shifting, I wanted to touch base on the many narratives that will actually positively impact Gala's price. The Moon Boys saying that Gala could possibly hit $1. We've got our Heroes of Mafia guild called Roy Boys. We'll be touching base on whether or not $1 Gala makes sense. That's what the thumbnail suggests, Gala 20x. I also wanted to talk about what is to come with the crypto space as a whole. So if you enjoy this kind of content, as always, like and subscribe, and let's get into it. The first thing I wanted to touch base on was the institutional demand that is currently coming in for the cryptocurrency space. If you didn't know, there are two classifications. You're either us, which are the retail traders, or you are the institutions, the accredited investors, etc., that have all of these huge pieces of knowledge that we just don't really have access to. And so what is happening right now, and this is something that is happening for the first time in history, by the way, the number of new addresses hitting Bitcoin has actually been declining for quite some time. And that is something interesting because you'd expect that as the price of Bitcoin goes up, that the amount of new addresses, the amount of new people interested would also be going up. But what we're seeing now is that institutional demand is the main reason that we're even getting this price pump for Bitcoin. This is important to note because of the fact that this is going to affect every other cryptocurrency in the space, especially crypto gaming. The only way you could deduce whether or not some kind of price gain like this could happen is if Bitcoin does well. There really is no other alternative. There's no world where Gala hits $1 if Bitcoin does not do very well. But that's why we're in crypto gaming, because we suspect that not only will Bitcoin outperform other currencies, and not only have people like Donald Trump, which at one point were very doubting of crypto's ability to go ahead and even persist against the US dollar, now they're accepting it. Now they're accepting it. They're like, you know what? I can't get rid of this thing. Jim Cramer losing his mind on talk shows here. It's important to note that institutions are flipping the script. They're thinking differently. Retail investors, for the most time, they're talking about the Bitcoin price. They're like, oh my God, the price is going up for this. Should I be grabbing it? But they haven't made the decision just yet. And that's why we're seeing this dynamic shift that has only been seen once in history. And that is right now. This is history being made in front of us. Institutions are going to drive the future of crypto. And this is something that I think a lot of you don't want to hear, because I think you want to hear about this decentralized future that is going to consist of all these amazing crypto games that are going to be fully governance by voting, and how every little decision is going to be made by the players, like the whole on-chain gaming days. Unfortunately, I think he realized that that's just not going to happen. We're not going to get that future anytime soon. Institutions, these centralized entities, are going to take over if they have already not taken over. I'm pretty sure they've already taken over. Okay, so you can see here something supporting it. The amount of Bitcoin wallets with smaller holdings dropped $7.89 billion in 2024, while wallets with 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin, that's a lot of money, have increased $13 billion. And another fun fact you should know is there have been somewhere around $5 billion in inflows for Bitcoin in just the amount of time that this ETF has existed. So this is a really big deal for assets like Gala, now up 15% on the day. With Bitcoin at $62,000, can we expect more positive price action? I think we can. What's happening right now is that the institutions are front running the retail traders. Of course, we got lucky. We entered crypto before anybody else believed in it. You should have seen the sentiment back in 2022, back in November, when everybody was saying I was an idiot and you just don't know what you're doing in crypto and all these different things. And now all of a sudden, we sound like geniuses. It's funny how the world works like that sometimes. So let's talk about Gala and crypto gaming, because I think that crypto gaming is going to be the top niche in the space. There's good reason that I've been covering it for as long as I have. And the primary focus on this channel for a very long time has been Gala. Now, it was because of the games that has kind of shifted. And that's the thing. Sometimes, even in relationships in real life, this might be some advice for you. I've been together with my girlfriend for a long time. It's been a strong 7 years here. And so sometimes things change. And depending on, if you're able to adapt to it, it could be a good or bad thing. And so when it comes to something like Gala, it has been abundantly clear for me for the past couple months that Gala is not focusing on being a gaming project anymore. The world of calling Gala a crypto gaming project, in my opinion, it's akin to calling Avalanche a crypto gaming project. People are not calling Avalanche a crypto gaming project. They know that there are crypto games on AVAX, just like there are crypto games on Solana and Ethereum and many of these other top chains. However, it's hard to say that Avalanche itself is a good crypto gaming project because it's not a crypto gaming project. It's, in fact, a L1 project, right? They're building subnets. They have their own unique use cases. So I will put this in the same light. Gala is not a crypto gaming project primarily. It is instead what is to be called an L1/L0. Layer zeros, if you didn't know, this might be a new term for you. Bitbender has actually gone ahead and begun marketing this out there. Gala is technically an L0 because you can have your own ISO chains with your own token built on top. Most of you won't understand what that means, but what it means, and this is something that you should do some research on, please, there's something called Cosmos. And the Cosmos ecosystem has this thing that allows you to do inter-blockchain communication protocols, right? Where you could talk between these little blockchains, and it's amazing, and everybody loves that stuff. It was the most innovative piece of tech, and the reason it was called a layer zero is because you could build on top of this technology to build your own chains. Simple as that. You could use the technology, build your own chains, have your own L1. That's fine. We love you for that. The layer zero just gives you the ability to do that. It's as simple as that. So Gala chain is pretty much an L0 because you can build your own ISO chains on top of it, which is very similar to how Cosmos is doing it, with your own token built on top of the main Gala chain. So it's a bit of an interesting concept. Why this is important, however, is because of narratives. What we're seeing right now is Bitcoin is having its run. There is a brand new narrative that is taking over the space right now. It's called DPIN. It's the reason that I have over $100,000 in crypto gaming nodes. I have a lot of conviction in the DPIN space. If you didn't know what DPIN is, that's fine. It's a new term for a lot of people. It's called Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. So pretty much spreading out a bunch of physical devices all over the world to go ahead and make a more decentralized crypto ecosystem. Is it foolproof? No. There is the likelihood of, like Bitcoin, having a bunch of miners in one very specific place in a data center and then having a majority of the network centralized. So you don't fall for the facade that all these DPINs are going to be decentralized. But the idea is that we're going to have these physical infrastructure networks all over the world, and that's going to make things that much more decentralized. We've already seen it with Helium, with the Solana mobile phones. We've seen it with Gala in their IPFS conquest, so to say, is what Bitbender has been kind of going after it. So Gala has stuff going for them. They do have founders nodes, and founders nodes are very important. In fact, I would say that very well may be the most important catalyst for Gala, the existence of those founders nodes, keeping hyper loyal fans at bay with these founders nodes. They bought these founders nodes for who even knows how much money. They want to see Gala succeed. But not only that, it's allowing for a future of a network powered primarily by nodes, kind of like how Bitcoin works. There's good reason Bitcoin has worked as well as it has this entire time. It's because of these DPIN networks. It really is because of DPIN networks. So I think Gala is doubling down on this narrative. They've realized that the gaming side of things just hasn't been going that well for them. I think it's safe to say that at this point. There's no denying it. Are there good games on Gala? In my opinion, I think there are great games on Gala. In fact, I think Last Expedition is one of the best crypto games in the space. Is it going to launch this year? No. Is this gameplay from me? I played this yesterday. So, as someone that isn't that bullish on the games being built on Gala, I could say there are good games built on Gala. I just think there's been a lot of issues with marketing. It just kind of is what it is. If there's no one interested in playing a crypto game, then it doesn't matter. The number one thing that we need to be concerned about in this industry is narratives. Just right now, all these projects that are being hyped up, people will say all day that they're trash, that they don't deserve to be as big as they are, but they just understand how crypto works. And if you understand how crypto works, you are going to make it. It doesn't need to be that complicated. A lot of these projects that you will notice, and Data and Arena, do some research on it, is an amazing example of a crypto game that looked really good on paper, incredible on paper, but it just didn't have the crypto pumponomics to make it work. It was essentially a pseudo rug, which I'm sure they didn't, on purpose make it like that, but it was just a cash grab. It's just what it was. A lot of Web 2 games are cash grabs. You can have an incredible game with incredible gameplay, but if you don't know the crypto side of things, you're going to get screwed over as an investor. You got to think of games as an investor and not as a gamer if you're investing in them. If you're going to be a gamer, then absolutely, I would say you go ahead, play all the games on Gala. I think Eternal Paradox is an incredible game. Champions Arena, one of the top crypto games in the space. Last Expedition, Mirandus, it's like the saving grace of Gala games at this point. Play them, have a lot of fun on them. But as an investor, it's hard to pinpoint whether or not that's going to be worth it. So where is our head at in terms of Gala? Why am I still bullish on Gala, despite the fact that I am not the biggest bull on Gala games itself? Well, I think we've come to realize that Gala themselves on the Gala Games page has begun to market other sides of Gala games. For example, Gala Music. This really wasn't a thing back then. All of a sudden, it's become a huge narrative that even the Gala Games page is reposting Gala Music and Gala Film and the many other echelons of what Gala is supposed to be. Gala's focusing on this L0, L1 narrative to build out their project once again. They have so much money to be able to do this. People don't understand. They don't even fathom how much money Gala probably still has in their treasury. And they're going to double down on what's working. Why would you beat a dead horse when you could go on a brand new venture here that you've been planning for who even knows how long, that is primed for success? That's exactly what Gala's thinking, right? They've noticed that Gala Chain it's just working for them. They've come to this point where they're like, let's cut the BS. We don't care about any of this gaming stuff. We'll kind of have it there as the chain grows. I'm sure these games will do well. That's kind of a byproduct of it all. It's like Avalanche. But the focus here, 100%, get those institutions on board because the money's here for institutional demand. Put them on here. That is why Gala has been marketing Gala Chain as Hyperledger Fabric to give use cases for institutions, ease of use to get a lot of these institutions that may not have been interested in crypto right into that Gala Chain. That is the entire idea surrounding this. Now, of course, I could be wrong. But my thesis here is they will continue to be an institutional chain. I don't see a world where Gala goes fully decentralized. We've known for a very long time that Gala has really shown itself to be quite the centralized company, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think, like I said before, decentralization, it's pretty much a myth. We could try to go ahead and argue all day about it. We're just not there yet. We're not there yet. Maybe we'll be there one day and we'll all be happy about decentralization and all these different things. But right now, highly centralized, highly ready for some institutions to adopt it. People have realized, in my opinion, that that's what's going on here, and it has created new life for what Gala could be. So can it hit $1? Because $1 is a 20x, and a 20x would put the market cap of Gala at $20 billion. My opinion, yeah. I do think that if they get institutional demand, that $20 billion is not a crazy market cap. I know what you're going to say. That's absurd. How dare you say something like this? I think it's possible, though. Do I own the biggest Gala bag in the world? No. I've got my moon bags. You guys know how it is. I've got a small bag of Gala that I went ahead and sold over at the 3-cent mark. It's at 4.6 cents. It is what it is, my friends. I will ride this one to the sunset wherever it goes, which is why it's important to do your own research for all these things. And by the way, for the people that think I don't have any codes for Gala, I still do have that affiliate link. It's in the description if you want to use it, if you're going to buy anything on Gala Games. So just do that. Another thing I wanted to talk about was this right here. All Spider Tanks items are available in Silk. So Silk is the utility token for the Spider Tanks ecosystem. For the longest of time, it was ignored. And in my opinion, it is still pretty much ignored. They're in a lawsuit right now. It's hard to be bullish on... Guys, this isn't like... There's no volume on this. This is all fake volume. So there's really no liquidity on Silk right now. They have priced everything on the Silk token, which I think is interesting that they're marketing this, because back then, in the glory days of Spider Tanks, everything was already priced in Silk. So people were buying and selling things with Silk, but then they randomly decided one day to stop selling things with Silk. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be something positive or negative or what it is, but it is good to see that they at least haven't forgotten about Spider Tanks, that they're announcing something. Hopefully they fix that game. I'm still a bull on Spider Tanks if they fix that game. I hold assets on Spider Tanks. So if we get rugged here, my friends, I'm joining you on this journey. Is all I have to say. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Join Legion into the Discord below description. We have all the alpha in the crypto gaming space. We're scouting every single day. Hopefully I gave you some insight on what Gala is, what's happening with the trends and everything therein. Stay classy, and that's all.